Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we are taking a trip to the e4-testival at the Hockenheimring. You've seen my road trip with the Twizy to Hockenheim last week already. And yeah, that was kind of the reason why it was there. There was the e4-testival, which was an event where you can test drive all sorts of different electric cars. There were lots of brands and car dealers showing their cars, new models, existing models. So you can go through and test all of them, or at least a lot of them, if you had the time and were organized enough to get it all done in time. I kind of didn't, but I got to see a lot of cars and I got to drive a lot of cars. And I just wanted to show you some of my impressions for materials inside the cars, the driving experience, parts of the software, and all of that. So yeah, let me take you through the event. Let's jump right into the first test vehicle.
We are starting off with this plug-in hybrid SUV, the Way Coffee 1, or how it's now called, the Great Wall Motors Way 05. It has up to 2,000 kilograms of towing capacity and it drives pretty smoothly. I only rode along with this one, I didn't drive it myself, but it was quite fine. The materials used inside weren't that bad, you were sitting quite good, so I wouldn't mind taking a long trip on this. It has an electric range of 146 kilometers with a 40 kilowatt hour battery, so that's not too bad. It seems to have one pedal driving. You can see the materials are pretty nice, and yeah, it wasn't that bad at all. The trunk space is also not too small, so you can definitely live with that if you want a plug-in hybrid, which you could DC charge. Up next we drove the Aura Funky Cat with the GT package right here, which is only a design package, nothing different in driving dynamics or anything, but it looks good. Trunk space is okay for a small little hatchback vehicle. The interior is pretty good as well. The materials aren't that bad, they aren't too good, but as you can hear, quite some hard plastics here. But for the price point, I would say it's definitely okay. You can definitely live with that. The seats are comfortable, there's more than enough power. It felt even quicker than the Cupra Born, which is way more expensive and has the same sort of power. The seats feel well. You got some kind of seating room in the back seats. It's not too much room, but it's not that bad, really. So, hard plastics in the door pockets, of course. Nothing too expensive or too fancy, but all in all, I would say it's definitely a good car. It drives really good. It's a lot of fun. We drove it around the track here. There are some driving assistants, so it's got all you need, but it doesn't have any charge planning or anything like that. So the navigation doesn't know about charging stations at all. It seems to be coming in the future update, but the guy from the dealer told us that they're waiting for this forever already, and they were told it'll come, but it didn't come yet, so we'll see about that. But all in all, for a runaround city car, it's perfect. Now here you can see the bigger brother, the Aura Lightning Cat. It's a coupe kind of limousine car, big, larger. I'm not sure about the specs on this, but it's not on the market yet, so it should be coming soon, I think. We couldn't sit inside, and yeah, that's all about that. Look at this beauty. This is the Polestar 2 Facelift BST edition. That's a beefy one, the most performance-oriented Polestar 2, all black with some matte black racing stripes on it. It just looks so good with the golden brake calipers and everything. That's such a beautiful car. Now look at this thing. That's a mobile DC charger from Kempower with up to 20 kilowatts per plug. That seems to be a bit much. That's hooked up here to the AC and converts it to DC themselves. Also a juice booster here for AC charging. That's nice, I like it. Up next we're here coming to the MG4 X Power. And I love this matte green color. That's pretty cool. Let's have a look at the inside. Pretty nice, big screen over there in the middle. Also a gauge cluster behind the steering wheel, that's pretty cool. The seats look quite nice. More about that in a sec. Let's have another look outside. I think you still have to get used to the design, but that's just my thoughts. Let's have another look at the inside before we go for a ride. It's a lot of glossy black plastics for me. I don't like that too much. You see all the fingerprints. The screen's the right size, that's okay. And you got a gauge cluster, that's good. Over here in the door we got some soft materials down here, hard plastic up there, hard plastic up there as well, and some vegan leather on the steering wheel. That's quite good, but still too much glossy black for me. We can adjust the steering wheel, that's good, and yeah, let's go for a ride. Of course I can film driving myself, but now we're here in the back seat. We got some vegan leather on the handle here, hard plastics up there, glossy plastics there. That should be the speaker, I think, or is it down there? Hard plastics in the door pockets. We got some seat back pockets, that's quite nice. So, down there, the big ones, and as you can see up there, the small ones for phones. The seats are comfortable. Also vegan leather and some Alcantara-like vegan leather thing. Now let's see that. That goes good. That's a lot of power for that hatchback kind of size of the car. That's definitely not too slow. And also the handling in the corners shouldn't be too bad, as it's an all-wheel drive. It really pushes you around the corner. We got one USB-A port in the back. The boot isn't too small, that's all good. And yeah, you can see the seat pockets there again. Other than some well-known brands, we also got a 360-degree camera with rear view and front view and everything. That's great. And here we can see the car from the outside again with the orange brake calipers for X Power and the spicy front. If you see it coming, you know that's not slow. Have a look at this big boy over there. 900 kilowatt hours of battery for that truck. So it can tow all the 40 tons of material. Now it's going back out on the track. I really wish I could drive this, but sadly I could only ride along, and I don't think there's any time for that, so that's sad. Now here we are in the probably most anticipated car of 2023, the Model 3 Highland, with its nice cloth up there and the Alcantara-like materials over here, foamed up plastics, the ambient light strip, and the new steering wheel without the stalks, with the blinker indicator buttons on the wheel, and no gear shifter. That's on the screen now. We've already seen that in another video before. You can also see we can control the back screen from the front here. That's pretty nice. So you can see what your passengers in the rear are doing, and you can also lock the screen. You got those nice little flaps here. And this hides down there when you open it up. And I couldn't find any hard plastic in the whole car. Now, let's have a look at the route planning. Let's just go to Berlin. And look at how fast that works. It just knows the superchargers instantly, and then it thinks about how do we get there and how do we route you, but that's insane. Over here at the Tesla Owners Club booth, they got some original Roadsters to ride along as a passenger in. So let's jump in one and do that because it's awesome. Let's head out on a track, and oh my god, it's so windy in here, and this car is so crazy impressive. If you think about it, that's from 2012 and it just rips. It just rips. It just goes and goes, and the range isn't that bad, and it's just so much fun, but it's so small. You really have to crawl into it to get in the seat. That's just crazy. And if you think it's only rear-wheel drive, so you can easily get some rubber on the street, that's so awesome. That's so impressive. I really love these cars. That's so much fun. They just go, and they're just awesome. We're here ripping along the straight back And this guy's braking already because he's afraid of corners, I guess. So that's sad. That's one hell of a difference from the classic Roadster into the Model X with a yoke. Sadly, I wasn't able to drive with the yoke. I only had the round steering wheel, but it's still awesome to drive. Let's get out on the track and get this car ripping. And let's see. Here we go, slowing down. And let's rip. Oh my god, that thing goes really good for that big of a size of a car. Damn. Materials, as we're used to, also pretty good. Vegan leather, hard plastics here, but that's okay. Soft door pockets inside, and some nice cloth material there. The hard backside of the seat. Also the perforated back seats in here. 2 USB-C ports in the back, that's awesome. And the screen, of course, which lets you control all your vents. Also nice materials here. No cheap plastics, nice cup holders in here because that's the 5-seater, I think.
Yeah.
So, and the big glass roof so you can see the traffic lights in Europe. That's perfect. Really love it. I wish more people would do it. Oh, that's a 6-seater. I'm sorry. Also 2 more USB-C ports back there and cup holders. And you got so much room. Also the rear vents for the 3rd row. That's quite nice. The vents for the 2nd row are up here over the screen that you can control from the screen. But such a nice car, it's just too big for German roads, so no option for me, sadly. And here we are back in my all-time favorite car, the Porsche Taycan. And this one's the Turbo S, so that's the top spec, best you can get, Sport Turismo. But sadly with 30-ish% state of charge, so it didn't feel much more sporty or much more energetic than the 4S we had. And there goes my phone flying because of the acceleration, that's just crazy. But it's still so much fun to drive the Taycan on the Hockenheimring racetrack. Even though there were some cars around me when I was driving, but you know this car, you've seen it before in multiple videos. I just love it so much. This one also has the sport seats, which are a bit more aggressive in holding you in place than the ones we had, of course. But this one just goes crazy. It's so much fun. It just rips. Can't say it any differently. It's just crazy. And here we are in a traffic jam to the pit lane to do another driver swap and get ripping on the road again. We are currently sitting in the Peugeot 508, I think. It's a plug-in hybrid wagon, but it should be available as a full electric vehicle next year or the year after. I gotta say, it feels pretty premium, but also it's pretty expensive, so should expect it to be like that. You got a pretty hefty center console, feels like in the Polestar, but it's also nice materials here, like that wood texture here and that leathery thing, I think vegan leathery thing over here. Also at the steering wheel you got no head-up display, but this pretty high gauge cluster up here, which you can switch from the steering wheel with multiple with night vision camera. That's pretty cool.
To detect animals at night.
Yeah, and detects also all the people that are running around there. You got a modern and pretty fast infotainment system here. That's pretty good, I have to say. Could be worse. CarPlay also wirelessly, so no problem here. Not quite as smooth as in like ID3 or things. Also, I'm currently filming, but it's the same when I'm not filming, so it's not. No, it's yeah, that's because of filming. You just saw what it did without, so that's okay. But the software is pretty good. Yeah, and it feels nice. It's pretty big. You can get a lot of stuff in here, I would say, and but still plug-in hybrid. So we're gonna wait until that's fully electric before we can say anything about
the real driving part and range and stuff.
Here you can have another look at the trunk space. That's pretty big. You can get some stuff in there. That's nice. And there you can see another look at it from the outside, how it looks. Nice wagon. I really like the new Peugeot design, so that's pretty. And here we are at the probably most anticipated car of next year, of 2024. The Kia EV9. Big 3-row, 7-seater SUV. Let's have a look inside. Let's just start with the rear seats real quick. That's a second row which can turn around. You can see there are third row seats down there and a lot of trunk space. Let's open this up. Here we go. You can put so much stuff in there when you only use the 4 seats, and even with the third row up, it's still a lot of space. Let's continue with the driver's position. You got the nice big steering wheel here with a lot of different modes in the gauge cluster. You also got all the driving assists, of course. I think a lot of it is standard. The new infotainment in here is pretty snappy and pretty fast. You can do route planning, but sometimes the charge planning didn't work as well. I think it should do it, but it's not that fast. You can have heated and cooled seats in here, and there you go. Also massaging seats, of course. That's pretty nice. Even more so for long trips. Here it says something about charging stations, so it should plan in the charging stations. And here we go. It tells you at how low state of charge you arrive and how much you should charge. You got those nice cup holders here that you can move out of the way or get back inside. Got some room for wireless charging your phone and some small stuff. You got your park assist with 360-degree camera. Bird's eye view around the car, front camera, rear camera, again the 3D view and the top view. You got a digital rear mirror, that's pretty cool. You can also switch it to a normal rear view mirror, that you can see me, but I really like the camera. Then you can have stuff in the back and it doesn't block your view. You got some nice glass roof with opening sunroof in the front, and some shades you can move forward in the back. A lot of room there, and it's really nice. Here you got the charge port, electric as we're used to from eGMP. It can charge up to, I think, 220 or 240 kilowatts, pretty fast as we're used to from eGMP. Here we go. That's coming back from its ride just now, so we can hop inside and get a look at the drive. Let's have a quick look at the materials from the driver's seat. We got some vegan leather down here, some foamed up plastics over here, that's pretty premium. Vegan leather on the steering wheel and some nice cup holders, that's awesome. Yeah. And now let us go for a ride. This thing rips. Genau. That's pretty awesome. Going good. Drives well for the size. It can also tow up to 2.5 tons of weight, I think. So that's pretty much the first electric SUV that can tow that much. That's nice if you want to go camping with your camping trailer or something. When you come up on the corner, you can really feel the weight, and you gotta remember that it's a very big car because it doesn't feel like it when driving. But all in all, I think that will be a great family hauler, and it charges just as fast as we're used to from eGMP cars. So this is the E4 competition, the 18-hour electric race between the 2 days of this weekend. You gotta get as much laps as you can with charging in between. Everyone can charge 20 kilowatts max, so no difference there. And you can watch this overnight if you were here or on some live streams. But as this video is kind of out of order how I recorded it, that's now kind of somewhere here in between, but I thought I would mention it just real quick so you can have a look at it and know about it as well. That's nice. Next up, the Genesis GV60 Sport Plus or whatever it's called. You can see when we're turning it on in just a sec that this nice ball spins around to show you the driving controls. Yeah, let's just rip out on the road and have a nice driving impression and see what this car does. There you can see it again. That's pretty cool. So let's go for a ride. You can see here from the back seat you have side-mounted rear vents. You have some interesting hard plastic controls. You got heated seat back here. Pretty good materials, as you can expect from the premium brand of Genesis that they are selling the cars as. You got some knob to hang your clothes or so. Nice controls in the door. You got a pretty hard plasticky back pocket in the seat. 2 USB-C ports back here. That's great. If we have a look over here in the door, we can see the Bang & Olufsen sound system in here, which is pretty good. That's hard plastics. That's an interesting door handle and a cup holder in the door. Also some space down there in the center console. And until now, that car drives pretty smoothly. This car is a premium cruiser, so we don't need to accelerate hard here, even though it could do it pretty well. It's the same eGMP platform we know from Kia EV6 and Hyundai Ioniq 5. So we know it charges well, it drives well, the suspension isn't too bad, and it goes really good. This one here, as it's the newest generation, I think, also has the software feature of emulating a automatic transmission gearbox. So you can enable it. You can see the nice materials here. You can enable it, and if you're going too fast, you have to shift up, or if you want to brake, you can shift down. And it emulates like you had a real transmission with multiple gears in your car. We'll see it in just a sec. But yeah, as you can see, it goes really well, even though it's a comfortable cruiser. So it's a premium car, definitely. Much fun to drive it, but also expensive. If you have a look at the gauge cluster now, you can see virtual gear shift is enabled, and it shows some kind of rev counter on the right. You can see 4th gear, virtual gear, now we're in 5th and 6th gear, and the car also makes some fake engine noises, so you feel like you are driving a combustion car. And also the pedal feeling is different when you're in 7th gear and you're driving really slow, then pushing the pedal all the way down just doesn't give you any power at all. It just feels like you're in 7th gear in a combustion car. It can also do it by itself, so you don't have to shift. It just simulates shifting with short torque removals, so it feels like it's shifting because there's no power for a millisecond or so, and then the power comes back with a different feel. It's interesting if you like combustion cars but want to drive electric. I think it's nice to play around with it, but no one needs this. Next up is the BMW iX1. A small compact SUV, even though I don't think it's that small after driving it around for a bit. I also had some nice Twitter thread just recently with some of my impressions, because I was able to drive it for a little bit longer period of time again. So I'm gonna link that for you down below in the description. Just have a look at it if you want to. And yeah, you can read my thoughts on the car in much more detail. But right here we can just have a quick look at the materials, not so much at the driving because I was alone and couldn't film someone else driving it, but that's fine. You get all my impressions in my Twitter thread, linked down below. Here we go, hopping inside the car, and it doesn't feel really bad. That's the M line. We get some nice leather seats, some nice leather center console. This feels premium as well. Also all the buttons here, but you can also expect that from that price point you have to pay to get this car. We gotta set up the seat for a bit. It's all manual, no electric seat in this particular car. Got some nice leather up here. Steering wheel is premium, got some cup holders down here, And all in all, you can feel that this is a premium vehicle and it sells like this, definitely. Up next, we're just quickly hopping inside the BMW i5. Also, I couldn't film any driving impressions, but you can see same interior as in the iX1. Feels just as premium, even more so with the central controlling things there. So yeah, also drives awesome. We just have a look at me driving it away from here. It just drives like an i5, as you would expect. Really good drivetrain, really good suspension. Had a lot of fun driving it, and I really want to drive that again in the future. And last but not least, staying at BMW, we are in the new Mini Cooper SE, or is it the S? I'm not sure. Doesn't matter, as this is a static vehicle just standing around here. Anyway, you got the nice interior here, the new circular screen with cup holders down there. You can see the new software and play around with it, and we're gonna do that in just a sec. Here we are. Let's have a look. Charge planning works fine so far. You can also go back. It shows you the trip, how much you need to charge, how fast you can charge, how long you need to charge there, and the availability, so that's pretty nice integrated in everything. The whole system feels snappy, the car feels well. I think it's a little bit expensive for what you get for the money, but that's always been with Mini like that, so that's I think the classical Mini buyer will still buy it. The materials feel awesome, the lights are great, and it just sells itself like a really fun car to drive. We couldn't drive it yet, sadly, but we will in the future, and I will give you another video as soon as I can with the new Mini Cooper.
So that's been it for this video, and a lot of tests and a lot of cars. I hope I could give you some impressions of the cars. I know it's not too much into detail and not too technical, but it's more like an overview of everything that we have on the market right now, what you can get, what you can drive, and what you can test. If you want to see something about one specific vehicle in detail, just hit me up in the comments and I'll try to get some of the cars. I might be able to, I don't know. But we can, of course, try, and I can give you my full review with driving it for maybe a day or so, going on a trip with it. Whatever, we can do that definitely. But for now, I would say that's been it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if there's an event next time, just come on by, hit me up if you're in the region. I'm always happy to meet some people because it's just so fun talking to all the people in the electric car bubble. It's just, I love it. So yeah, thank you again for watching, and see you guys in the next one. Bye!